a nigga with a mask and a black metal blade, trapped in his rap metal ways. Bad bitches backpedal, they asked for the past several days. Viceroy knock, might take a bat to your face.
Alright guys, so coming in at number 3, we have zDan on a melee Magicka Nightblade, and yeah, this is a really cool build. He's got some serious tank ability and some serious firepower, and he is playing a no-stealth Magicka Nightblade. So here you can see he pokes the back end of the siege group here, and yeah, they ain't going to have none of that. So we do the retreat here, making sure to keep up that cloak heal, making sure to keep the shields up, and there you just see that huge healing power. This group literally doing no damage to zDan here, and he's just going to continue to out-tank and out-heal this. Goes for his resto ult now, and he's going to turn on these guys with the buffs from his resto ult. Takes a nasty rune cage stun there, and I think he's actually just unable to break it because he had to wait the full duration there on a full Stam bar, so I feel like just server lag there. And then here we go. He's going to turn and fight these guys, and just look at the healing power on this build. He goes for that healing cloak. He goes for that damage shield, sets down the shade again to reposition, and he's going to open on this guy here, throwing down the crippling grasp. There is the ultimate. Oh my gosh, goes for the fear. Goes for the light attack and sealed weapon combo, puts good damage into him, but has to pull out. And there you see that massive healing power on this spec. Holy man, this guy's healing is insane. Big fear there into the in cap. Look at that, 16.7k on the bow. Holy crap. That poor guy just gets absolutely destroyed. This guy here goes for the res on the friendly player. I think he manages to get it off, but he's going to go savage mode with the in cap into the concealed weapons, bringing him down, making sure to keep his heals going as he continues to fight these guys. That heal over time, huge bow on that guy yet again. Does not crit. Unfortunately, it would have killed him if it crit, but that guy ends up just running away, turns around, bashes this guy into the in cap, go for that concealed weapon, nearly gets him again, and that bow, oh my god, 10k no crit. What is this build, man? Goes for this guy here, hits him with that, the crippling grasp into some concealed weapons, surprise attack, or sorry, in cap. Man, I think he's actually running Soul Harvest, not in cap. I'm just used to saying in cap, but he's just destroying these guys with this combo, and the last player here just kind of watching like, huh, what was going on down there? There's the Soul Harvest bringing that guy down. What an amazing amount of damage and take ability. Really sweet build. All right, guys, so coming in at number 4, we have got zDan on his Magicka Nightblade, and this is the second feature for zDan on our top 5, so another Magicka Nightblade clip, and as you can see here, he's got a lot of yellows on him, and zDan is playing a Magblade that's dual-wield resto, and is also not using stealth. He's using that HP-based heal off the cloak, and there you see him just getting a massive amount of healing power while he fights these guys. Big burst coming in from the opposing players there. He goes for his shield, goes for that cloak heal, goes for the shade. Lots of pressure coming from these guys here, using the pillar here to line of sight that soul assault. He's got the shade down in case he needs to make a teleport, but he's doing a great job using the single pillar to line of sight. A lot of ranged opponents as well, so it's very tricky for him to get a good LOS here. He just has to rely on being tanky enough and weaving his defenses properly in order to get that tank to work properly. And as you can see here, he manages to get a bit of a split on the group, a huge in cap on this guy into the bow, bringing him down, massive combo, and now he's just going to reset his defensive abilities. Another soul assault coming in. He goes for the line of sight on the soul assault into the shade, getting behind the group here, throwing off a lot of pressure, and now he opens on this archer here. Another massive attack with his soul harvest into the concealed weapon, and he brings this guy down. And zDan is still taking a lot of pressure from this group. These yellow are very aggressive, but they are starting to go onto res duty. And as you see there, he's going to deny the res for this player here. Hit him with a huge attack with his soul harvest there. Goes for the fear. Doesn't get the player he's attacking with the fear, but fears the other player off of him, so it allows him to continue to pressure that player, but it's not enough. He gets a big heal, and zDan's just going to come back here, change targets to this player here, gets an awesome fear into this concealed weapons to bring him down, and now he's just going to try to pick another target, resetting his shade to make sure he's got a teleport. Huge soul harvest there to put some damage into him, and look at that spectral bow. Oh my god, almost 16k spectral bow to bring him down. Now zDan is just going to continue to work what's left in this group. He's taking a few snipes, but he's got a lot of healing power as long as he keeps using his cloak periodically and going for that damage shield. And there you see he's just easily out healing and line of sighting this enemy archer while he puts damage into the player blocking here. But the DK is just being very stubborn, very bulky. A great fear there into the soul harvest. The DK breaks it and goes right back into the bulk. zDan decides, all right, we're going to switch targets and take this archer down. Goes for some pressure, goes for the spectral bow. The archer just cloaks it and ends up running away. And now zDan's going to finish up the fight, taking down the last guy here. Goes for that soul harvest into the concealed weapon. Absolutely excellent Magblade play there. All right, so coming in at number 2 this week, we have got zDan on the Magicka Dragon Knight. And as you can see, there's just a blue werewolf that comes and pokes at him a little bit. zDan's just going to take his time here, dot the werewolf up a little as, oh my gosh, look at this. We got a lot of blue players coming on top of him. zDan going for his resto ult and continuing to tank out with the wings on the Dragon Knight. The wings so important to make this getaway possible, giving him that snare immunity and the reflect, such a great utility. And zDan just doing a fantastic job rotating the wings and his shield here. He is breaking the incoming stuns as they come, getting a lot of really good blocks as well. But these guys are relentless. Oh my gosh, he's just taking an absolute smack. Gets another resto ult off there as well, continuing to flap the wings to keep that immunity up. Lots of dodge rolls as well. Really great kite, and just look at how many blue players are chasing him here. Oh my gosh, zDan continuing to get zerged down by these blues, pounding his shields, pounding the wings, makes it into the tower, and now he's got that long struggle to get up to the top, continuing to cycle his abilities here, managing to make it to the top of the tower. Very low Magicka, but back up to full health, and there we see that big leap. Oh my gosh, huge damage with the whip there. Jumps over top of these guys, taking a nasty fear from the Nightblade, but he's just going to turn right away, reset his shields, and then open up on this Nightblade. Huge fossilize in the middle of his roll into the whips, tearing that Nightblade down, and now zDan's just going to reset his wings here and focus on this player in the back. He ends up jumping off the edge. zDan's going to turn and burn the Nightblade right next to him, takes the fear and breaks it, goes for the fossilize into the leap. Look at that kill. Oh my gosh, so much damage on that kill there, and zDan's just going to turn right to the next player. The fossilize into the whips, bringing him down as well. He's got 2 more blue players. Another one falls off the edge, and zDan just goes for the kill on this guy here. Huge damage on him as well, and the enemy soul assault coming in. zDan responding with the leap. Great block from the enemy player there to not take that deadly stun from the leap, but zDan's just applying too much pressure and finishes him off there. And now he's killed everything inside, and he's going to work his way outside here. The first player here is just a little coy. The enemy Nightblade opening with arrows, but zDan keeping his wings up. Very difficult for the Nightblade to engage with his bow. Takes a nasty gank from the Nightblade there, and there we see zDan go into the resto ult, and now he's going to turn and attack. Tries to go for the Nightblade there. Unfortunately, takes a nasty stun and is unable to as the Nightblade enters stealth, but gets him with the fossilize as he comes out. Lots of dots on the Nightblade into the whips. Goes for his AoE armor there to pull the Nightblade out of stealth. Gets him with another fossilize into that whip, bringing him down. But it's not over yet. zDan's going to go and find the last player that was picking on him here. And there he finds the Templar, dots this guy up, gets him with a nasty fossilize, the whips into the leap, into more whips, and the Templar is just struggling to stay alive as another blue player shows up here as well. zDan quickly goes for the fossilize. Oh my gosh. Rips through that guy, just 100-0 within 2 attacks, and zDan's going to turn right back onto the Templar. The Templar purging away, throwing his runes down, trying to hold his house. He goes for a few dodge rolls there, and zDan just continues to apply pressure, and those dodge rolls were not the best call. As look, he's got no stamina left. zDan just smacking him there. The Templar comes out of the stun into his healing ultimate. Really great call on his part to survive, but zDan has got him fully dotted up, fully rotated. There we see the stun into the leap, into more whips. The Templar can hardly keep up. He's literally just pounding Breath of Life in between his purges, trying to survive here, and zDan is just absolutely smacking him. Another deadly fossilize in the dodge roll there. The Templar does not have the stamina to respond. What a fight. And finally, guys, for the #1 slot this week, we have the one, the only zDan on his legendary no stealth Magicka Nightblade. And look at this gameplay right off the bat, taking a lot of pressure from a large yellow group here. And zDan's just pounding the heals, pounding the shields, keeping himself alive, goes for the resto ult, and that Shade gameplay, of course. There's the Shade right back, and the nasty Dragonite pull, pulling him through the terrain. Oh my lord, but zDan is not phased. He's actually going to try to go for some pressure on the player here, but unfortunately he's just taking a lot of damage as all the yellow converge on him, and zDan's going to go for a little bit of a kite to the side here. He set the Shade down, taking the Soul Assault, continuing to heal it away with his shields and the Nightblade heal as well. He goes for the Shade after he gets immobilized, doing a great job just rotating around this group, making them move, and oh my gosh, a super nasty stun there. zDan taking so much damage, responds with his resto ult into his shields and his heal, manages to survive, and a great fear there just to put a little bit more of a split on the group as he kites behind the little pavilion here, resets his Shade, and just look at how much bulk he has on this build, just tanking these guys out, doing his best to try to turn and get some offensive pressure, but he has to focus a lot on staying alive here as he's just taking a lot of damage. Even the snipers on the side pulling them with the chains. Oh my gosh, zDan just taking so much abuse from this group, but doing a fantastic job tanking it out and just dealing with all of this incoming CC, etc. He tries to go for a little bit more pressure on the group, but yet again, he's forced just onto the defensive side of things. Goes for a fantastic Shade teleport, sets the Shade down yet again, and buying himself a little bit of time with the group, opening on these three players here, but zDan yet again taking so much damage from the enemy snipers, the enemy burst. There we see that massive tether, and he quickly finishes off a player with his Swallow Soul, and he's going to continue to apply pressure. This guy wants to go for the res. No, man, zDan's quickly bashing that res and continuing to stay on top of the group here. He has proved to these guys that he can tank them out. He continues to apply pressure, takes the stun, but prevents the res yet again, doing a great job making sure to keep these bodies down. And zDan is now starting to put this group a little bit on the back foot. This guy wants to res now. zDan gets the bash. He's off balance. He goes for the damage on the player there. zDan wants to finish him off, but we see the enemy Nova come down and a lot of damage from the enemy players, but zDan continuing to apply pressure. There we see another tether. Fantastic stun on the group. So much healing power from the tether as well, and zDan's just continuing to tank out these yellow, taking the chains yet again. Oh my gosh, that chain stun XP1 is so hard to deal with, and zDan's doing a fantastic job doing it. He gets the fantastic fear, a massive spike on that player with the spectral bow. However, he goes into stealth, and zDan yet again just tanking this group out. He moves on to the next target. The guy with the bow pulling him with the chains. zDan's putting a lot of pressure into him, just continuing to keep his defense up as well. I love how he plays this build. He keeps the offensive pressure up and continues to defend himself, weaving those light attacks with his shields as well. And zDan just puts work into this guy with the resto staff. There we see the tether, the massive AoE stun. He takes the first player down with the spectral bow, and now he's going to continue to apply pressure to these guys, still pulling them with the chain. Oh my gosh, zDan just putting a lot of damage into this guy, has the sniper on his tail as well, finishing that player off, and now he's going to put his attention on this sniper here, and oh no, he doesn't. This guy wants to go for the res. zDan just putting pressure right away. The other player actually releases and cannot get res, and zDan's going to turn right onto the sniper here. The sniper takes a nasty fear. zDan hits him with the tether, so he cannot roll the attack. And there we see, I think, another yellow player come in on the rock here, and zDan's just wanting to kill this Nightblade, just continuing to hunt him down and ignoring the DK that's chaining him around. The Nightblade kites back to the back here, and zDan's just going to turn on him. This player on the rock decides now he's going to engage after showing up to the fight. zDan gets a great fear off on the Nightblade, massive spectral bow, bringing that guy down as well. The player on the rock just feeding him hard casted frags. zDan hits him with the dots, goes for the elemental weakness, and then the tether spike again for the damage and the stun. This player just barely hanging on, and zDan's going to continue to apply pressure to him here as he heals himself. And interesting build from this Sorc to have low health healing power like this, but zDan's just continuing to attack him. A little bit of a skip there, and there we see he hits him with the fear into the finish. What a fantastic fight, my man. Now, finally, for the #1 clip this week, you guys voted for zDan on his Stamina Sorcerer, and this is a really really cool clip. We've got a very interesting build from zDan here, a dual-wield bow Stam Sorc, and look at this gameplay style. He goes for the poison injection into the silver leash, pulling the player into him, and the steel tornado bringing the player down. Really cool kill right off the bat. zDan taking a lot of pressure from the enemy Nightblades out of stealth. He is on a medium armor Stam Sorc, so he's going to be fairly squishy, using his roll dodge, of course, to stay mobile and dodge the incoming attacks. He's going to heal himself up, get some stamina back, and wait for these guys to re-engage with him. Just taking a stun there from the damage over time from the Nightblade. It actually stuns as he re-enters sneak, but zDan getting a really nasty pull on that guy there, finishing him off with the tornado, and we've got some enemy players. This guy trying to go for the res. zDan pulls him off the res. He does manage to get it, but right away with the snappy Dawnbreaker, finishing that guy off, and zDan gets another great pull on the enemy archer there. I really like how he uses the pull to just counteract the ranged opponents, just pulling them on top of himself. It makes it tough for the ranged opponent to continue to apply pressure because they're within the melee range there. zDan getting another pull. This guy's trying to res. zDan quickly pulling him off the res, switching back to his original target, kills him with the dots, the Dawnbreaker bringing down the next player, and now zDan's gonna tornado the last guy down. Oh my gosh. What a clean wipe, but we've got another yellow player coming in. zDan using the pull again to prevent the res from the yellow player here, dotting him up right away and just going for pressure on top of this guy. He's got to get some stamina back, though. He's got very little stamina left in the tank. There's the Dawnbreaker, and he's just going to keep applying the damage over time, but the enemy Templar quickly healing up with the Breath of Life, and zDan's going to have to reset his buffs here and reset his dots on his opponent. And right away, he hits him with the chain pull into the steel tornado, getting great damage into the Templar again, but the enemy Templar's healing's just a little too much. zDan is doing a lot of wear and tear to him, though. Gets another awesome stun into the tornado, finishing him off there as he spins off the edge. And now, well, zDan's won the fight, but it's not quite over yet. He's going to head to the resource, going to flip this bad boy with the another Sorc here that was just watching the fight, letting zDan do his thing. And we've got another enemy player here engaging with him. zDan right away just going to go for the dot pressure on him into the tornado, quickly bringing that guy down. Gets this guy with the pull again into the tornado, bringing another player down. You've got another Nightblade out of stealth here. He throws the Ballista on zDan, but zDan right away counters with the pull into the Dawnbreaker, bringing that guy down as well. And now zDan's just chasing the last yellow player that has come to try to reinforce this. And oh man, he's not going to get away. There's the pull, the tornado. What a cool build. What a fantastic fight. Now, coming in at number 2 this week, we have got zDan returning with some Magicka Templar, which we've never seen from him before. He's actually playing a melee Magicka Templar here, and right away picking up a kill on the first player there, taking a lot of pressure from the group. zDan just missed out, goes for the heals, and then resets the dots here. Takes the stun from the enemy Templar here. He goes into his Bat Swarm, hits him with the stun there, and then hits him with the jabs. A lot of damage into that Templar. He just melts, going for the pressure on top of this Nightblade here. There we see the stun into the jabs. The Nightblade just managing to roll away there. zDan trying to finish him off, but he manages to stealth out, and zDan's just going to reset his buffs here and just wait for the yellow to re-engage with him here. He's just kind of in a weird spot. He's got a lot of yellow and blue players, and zDan, I think, is on the red faction here. And so many yellow players coming up for him here. zDan goes for a big crescent sweep on the group, getting big damage into them, actually almost finishing one of the players off with that crescent. There we see the player actually goes down. zDan just resetting the heals here, and then going for that kite around the tree, and going into that mist storm, breaking some of that minefield as well. And zDan's just using the tree to line of sight these guys and just wait until he can set a nice combo on somebody here. There you see he goes for the dot up, gets stunned by the Dragon Knight, but still commits to the dot up here, just healing himself. And zDan goes for the stun into his ultimate, the jabs. That guy gets melted by the last kick of the ultimate there. So much AoE damage, and zDan's just going to kite back around the tree, heal himself with that nice powerful Honor of the Dead, and just keep on working on this group here. They throw down a stun from the side there. zDan just resetting his buffs here. He dodges this guy up that's chasing him, goes for it, the Poddle into the ultimate, nearly one-shotting the guy with the ultimate there, and just the tick finishing him off. And zDan's going to go for the next target here, trying to go for the gap closer, but the little bit of weird terrain here doesn't let zDan make that gap close. And there you see he manages to make the gap close onto the side here, putting a lot of damage into this guy with the jabs. This guy's trying to escape, but he cannot roll out of it. zDan resets his buffs here. The two yellow players still on his tail. He dots up one of them, goes for the stun there, but gets hit by a nasty counter stun into the lead. This yellow player is trying to res. zDan goes for his ultimate. Great damage into him. Goes for the jabs as well. A huge crit on the end of that with, I think, the burning light. That guy gets nuked, and zDan's going to interrupt the res here. Go for the biting jabs as well. Finishing off that player. He's got just the Dragon Knight left on top of him here. zDan goes for the dot up again. The reflective light into the stun, into the ultimate. The DK gets nuked. He rolls the other direction. zDan ends up missing the jab, but quickly putting a lot more damage into him, and he goes right down. And for our next fight, we have got zDan returning for us on the Stamina Sorcerer. And, well, zDan just quickly picking up a few Telvar off that guy there. And right off the bat, look at how many Telvar he's carrying. Look at his max stat. He has got the Imperial physique set on, so that big risk, that big reward. And zDan's going to put it to the test here against this AD group that appear to be fencing the boss here, but the boss himself actually chasing after zDan, and zDan just doing his best, using that speed on the Stam Sorc to just kite himself out and re-engage with these yellow after the boss has decided that he's going to fight. No, he's still chasing zDan. Oh my lord, he went around the other side while yellow guarded the other side of the tunnel, and zDan just doing his best to take the pressure and put the pressure back. 20k onslaught. Was that a 20k onslaught? That was absolutely savage. That guy just, he's looking at that death recap. No idea what just hit him. That is the Imperial physique set. Put it in work there, and zDan just kiting his way back out again. Getting his, keeping his resource up, actually. Just doing a great job managing, and oh my god, absolutely massive combo again. So much damage coming out of zDan's build here, and finally the NPC is focusing on this big yellow group. They actually quickly bring the NPC down, and now it is just zDan left to fight these yellow, and they converge on him very quickly here. zDan just keeping his buffs up, keeping the dark deals going, and continuing to kite these guys, doing his best to just keep himself alive and do as much havoc as he can, just trying to split this group up. They get a nasty pull on him there with the DK chain, but zDan just utilizing that sorcerer speed, keeping his shuffle up as well to stay immobile as they continue to chase him and snare him here. And he tries to go for a combo there. A nice big onslaught on that player there. zDan trying to stick out the damage, but again, just too much pressure from the yellow. He's going to go for the kite again, just keeping his buffs up, a bit of a dark deal, and just look at his sustain, just keeping those resources high, opening on this player there. This guy just cannot outdeal the damage. He's actually just spamming rally. zDan just finishing him off there with the executioner. Gets a dodge on the Dragon Leap. What? I call hacks, man. How did you dodge that Dragon Leap? It even said dodge. That was nuts. But zDan just continuing to fight these this yellow group here, and they're just dropping everything they can on him, but he's just showing them the business here. They cannot touch him, not even with the leaps. zDan just keeping the kite game on these guys. A nice heavy attack there, setting the player off balance with the roll dodge afterwards, and there we see a huge onslaught on that next player there, the 48k splash on the NPC. I don't even know what to say. He moving on just into the inside of the tunnel here, kiting back towards the body, and they already rezzed, or I think he might have released already, and zDan gets a nice scoop with the Wrecking Blow, trying to just put the pressure in, but again, the yellow group staying tight, putting a lot of damage into zDan, and he's risking those stones, baby. He doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks here, and he gets good pressure on this guy here. That guy taking a lot of damage from the dots too. zDan trying to stick the kill out, but again, the enemy player just managing to slink away, and there's a huge onslaught. The splash just putting huge damage into the next player. zDan hitting him with the executioner to bring him down. This guy trying to res. No, you don't. There's the bash. Oh my god. Another savage combo, and he's got the last enemy player here. The last one that stuck by him. Holy crap, and he brings that guy down. zDan moving on to the tunnels here to just find the rest of these AD players. Another one coming in from behind here. He just puts the poison injection in. There's the Wrecking Blow to finish that guy. And this last guy here, this is actually where the clip just kind of cuts out. So I would assume that he is very, very tanky because, yeah, zDan fights him for a while and he does not go down. And for our next fight, we have got zDan on the Stamina Dragon Knight, and he's hanging around the mile gate here, and he's got a lot of blue players on top of him. zDan just being very aggressive. He did send me the full unedited version of this clip, and it did include the portion where these guys did kill him. So he's coming back for his revenge here. And, well, the blue players, they're just keeping the pressure on zDan here. zDan doing a great job just keeping his buffs down and keeping his mobility up as well. He's just kiting this group out. Good block in the roll there. So much pressure coming out of those attacks. And zDan taking a lot of damage, just making it up to the top here as the blue group kind of closes in on him. And he manages to get a good kite out. One player overextending here. zDan goes for the dot up. Unfortunately eating the enemy wrecking blow, but responds with his own into the leap. And the executioner, one blue player down. And zDan is going to hold his ground. He dots the next player up and tries to get the wrecking blow. But again, a lot of damage coming from these guys. A really good roll, sidestepping the Dawnbreaker as well. And he's going to go for the dot up off the AoE again. A little bit of pressure from these guys. zDan with a great drop down to the bottom. Baits the res off this guy, unfortunately not getting the bash, but nonetheless landing the dizzy into the leap combo. Going for the executioner, zDan almost getting the kill there, and then there we go. He finally finishes him off, and he's got the fear as well to just help keep the pressure down on the rest of the group so he can defend these bodies, and the enemy players just slowly piling up here. zDan getting another nice kill off on that player. The weapon swap into the block there to prevent the stun from the incoming meteor. He leaps on the other player, stopping the res as well, almost finishing that player off. Yes, he did finish that player off and almost got a second, and he's just gonna spit the dragon breath at that guy as he jumps off the edge. This enemy player, he actually did get the res off. He just waited. He gets right back up. zDan's just going to reset his buffs on these guys, or his debuffs, sorry. Goes for the dizzy into the executioner, and down that guy goes. And now this other blue player just kind of watching, enjoying the show. zDan sees that. He's like, all right. And this guy here, the first thing he does is try to come res. zDan's like, no, man, we ain't gonna have that. This guy, unfortunately, he was not enjoying the show. He was going for that sneak res, and now he's dropping the healing ult on the other players as well. zDan's gonna go for the pressure on top of this next guy here that just got rezzed, and he just doesn't have the resources to do much about it. He's trying to heal it away, but he can't. And yeah, this last Dragon Knight, yeah, you're not going to be able to get away with that, says zDan. We can't be having any of that. He goes for the dot up on him. The enemy DK right away, going into his heals as well. And zDan's just going to keep going for those dizzy swings. There's the stun into the leap and the executioner as the body falls off the edge. Beautiful stuff. And finally, guys, for our final clip, we have got zDan on his Stamina Dragon Knight. And he's just hanging out outside of Alessia here, just picking a fight with the yellow that are coming out of the keep. And he just goes for the dot up on the first player here. He's got the poison injection down, gets the dizzy swing. Unfortunately, the knockback from that enemy player there, and zDan does not commit to the offensive pressure there. I know he wanted to go for the leap after that dizzy there, but too many yellow players pouring out of the keep now, so he just is going to sit in the terrain here and just wait for these guys to come and jump on top of him. And zDan just goes for the first dot up on this guy here, hits him with the noxious breath as well, taking quite a bit of pressure from these guys, right away responding with that preemptive vigor, rolling through there and then LOSing and just trying to pop those heavy attacks off as he goes around, getting that extra resource back and just playing it patient here, waiting for his opportunity to get that big leap. Huge burst on this guy here. Again, zDan unable to stick the kill, and he doesn't overcommit to it. He decides to just back up, and that was a really good call. A massive ult dump from the enemy players there, but the healing power on Stamina Dragon Knight, and zDan with the good kite maneuver is able to come back, and he's just going to keep on working around these rocks here, continuing to pop off those heavy attacks. Now, this is a huge part of this fight here. Every time he gets an opportunity to start winding up that heavy attack when he's safe, he goes for it, and there we see the huge combo off that leap, finishing one of the yellow players off there, and zDan's just going to keep an eye on that body. Interrupt right away as the player just goes for the bash there. zDan almost getting the kill again, but getting hit by the Sorc streak at the last moment, and he's going to have to kite back behind the rocks here, keeping an eye on that body though, but I don't think zDan's going to be able to prevent that res from happening, so he turns around here, he throws the AoE pressure down, goes for the leap into the executioner on the player in the back, bringing another yellow player down. A nasty stun there as he goes for the hop. off of his defensive cast, and he's just going to keep kiting around the rock, doing his best to keep his heals up and keep those heavy attacks going off as well. Even on the greatsword bar, he's making sure that he's getting as much sustain as possible in this fight. He's going to need every little bit of resource that he can, and there you see the heavy attack into the leap, and a clean kill on another yellow player as he pops him up on top of the rocks there, and he's going to push into this enemy Nightblade here who's trying to escape but doesn't have an answer to the amount of AoE pressure that zDan's throwing out with his Noxious Breath. Just a casual 24k leap. No big deal. He's just going to nuke that guy from full health, turn on this guy here, just dot him up into the Executioner, and wow, just like that, zDan has torn every single one of these guys down, and he's got just this last enemy player left here, and zDan just starts dotting him up, starts to open up with his combo here. The Dizzy Swing goes down into the leap, and the Executioners, the enemy Templar, responding well with the roll dodge into the block, and the Breath of Life there, managing to bring himself back, and then responding with the stun on zDan as another opposing Sorc comes into the fight here, and zDan's just going to head back to his rock here and just dot up the enemy Templar. Now, the enemy Templar here continuing to keep the pressure on instead of purging off those negative effects, and that's exactly what zDan wants. It's going to give him an opportunity to turn around and hit this guy with a huge combo, and there we see he's fully dotted up. Beautiful animation cancel off of that Executioner as well. And I am going to leave you guys to enjoy the last little bit of the fight. We, of course, have a bonus clip brought to us by Starglean following the end of this fight. A huge shout out to everybody who sent the clips in this week. Thank you guys so much for sending in those clips, and congratulations for making it into the top 5. Now, for our next fight, we have got zDan returning, this time on a Magicka Sorcerer, and he's at the back end of a blue group that is trying to get through the front door of this keep, and zDan right away is just going to start tickling the back end of the group, just trying to size these guys up a little bit. They've got some higher ranks on them, and he's got a lot of negative effects thrown on him as he shows his face there. He gets a good combo on this guy here, just bringing that player down, soaking up the enemy meteors with the block as well there. Really good gameplay, and switching to the player on the ram, getting him with the stun off the bash. You can bash and stun a player when they're on siege, so just really good gameplay there. And then zDan's just going to continue to apply pressure to the rest of the blue group here. He puts some good damage into this guy with the frags, the curse combo, and the execute finishes him off. The blue players quickly dispatched a friendly red player, I believe, that jumped in to try to help zDan out here, and zDan's just going to keep working this blue group, bringing another blue player down. The burst on this Sorc, he's got his Atronach down as well, just soaking up that damage, giving him a lot of LOS with it too, and there he gets a really nice bash on this guy, goes into his execute into the frags, a nice smack to bring that guy down, a huge crit combo, and zDan's going to switch right away to his next target here, just putting the damage in, the meteor into the frags, the execute, everything bringing that guy down, and another red player just jumping off the side of the keep here to help zDan out, and yeah, he doesn't even need it at this point. There's just one blue player left. They're just going to put the pressure into this guy. Oh my gosh, the negate of doom. He doesn't break the stun, and down he goes. And a couple more blue players actually just heading in here off their horses. zDan quickly switching to the guy on his horse here, feeding him the crystal frags, knocking him off the horse, and then going for that execute as well. And zDan's just going to take a peek back at the bodies here, sees the last player still alive inside the keep. Just going to finish him off with the combo. Good stuff. And for our next fight, we have got the one and only zDan returning on the Magicka Nightblade. And he's on a resource here, picking a fight with a few blue players. zDan throwing the pressure on these guys, throws a big fear down, stepping back outside of that Necromancer's AoE there. He does not want to get clipped by that synergy combo. And zDan putting big hurt into that guy there with the Spectral Bow, the ultimate. And one player down on the spot there. zDan again stepping outside of the AoE, seeing more blue players come in, and the resource flipping to blue as well. He's just going to kite back out of here into the tower and pull the blue players towards him. The first guy that comes in, zDan just hits him with the dot up right away, goes for the fear, and unfortunately he takes the fear, or takes the stun from the opposing NPC there, and he almost finishes the Templar off there. The negate comes down to save him again, and zDan's going to head back up the staircase here, just reset his buffs, and reopen on these guys as they come around the corner. He steps behind this guy as he goes for the combo there. Really great fear, hitting both of them with it, and he finishes off that Templar with the Swallow Soul there, and he's going to turn around, get behind this Templar again, and just look at the sidestep here on the jabs, especially on console where you have that little bit more limited camera rotation speed. zDan doing a great job preventing those guys from hitting him with the AoE, and he's just going to keep on moving around here. He picks up the kill on that Plar, of course, and there we see a huge fear again, going for the Spectral Bow combo. That opposing player reads it well with the roll dodge, and zDan's going to take the stun, caught a little bit lower on stamina there, but fortunately not hit by such a bad stun, and there he gets the interrupt off the res into the ultimate, and the poke with the staff. The next blue player going down, and zDan right away goes to work on the other blue players on the stack. Look at how much coverage he's getting with the fear here. They're all trying to get the reses on these players, and it just allows zDan to have a huge amount of stun potential on this group. He goes for a bit of a kite back here. He sets the shade down, and he's going to re-engage with these guys. I really like what he does there because it allows him to have a very safe escape in case something goes bad on the offensive here, but zDan putting huge pressure into that player trying to go for the res. He manages to finish him off there, reset the buffs around the corner, get this guy with the bash at the expense of his stamina bar. zDan is trying to keep these bodies down, and he just has some amazing healing power on this build too, soaking up the incoming dots from the NPCs as well. Huge fear again. zDan just catching this guy, very low HP, and he gets him with the last poke there to bring him down. This enemy Sorc, I believe, managed to get a res. zDan just gonna stop this guy from resing another body here. He's going to try to get the fear down. He does manage to land a fear on the NPC, I think, behind the pillar there, but he's just got a lot of negates getting dumped on him too, especially on a Magicka build. Very hard to deal with all the negates that the NPCs will throw out at you, especially when you're taking pressure like this from enemy players. He's getting tossed in the air by the Mages Guild rune. Oh my gosh. And these guys, they want to get these reses. They're really committed to trying to pick their friends up, and zDan is doing a good job just holding on his spot here. And he's just got that durability, that game sense to stay alive in this position and bring another blue player down. And now he's just got one enemy left to go. This guy is trying his best to put the work in here. He is still getting good help from the NPC. zDan taking a nasty stun there, and I believe the hold still there was just to hit the record button. I don't know. I think that's what I do when I'm playing, and I pause for a moment. But anyway, he's just going to bring down the NPC. I like what he's doing here. This guy is a little bit more on the durable side, and the NPCs can be very, very annoying with the body block to beat the enemy players, especially when there's one enemy player left and he's not putting out a lot of damage. And zDan decides, all right, we've got him in a decent spot. He's not body blocked nothing, and it's still trying to put the work into this guy here, but man, this Dragon Knight is just tanky. And now the skill delay hits. It is the patch. Oh my gosh. Anyway, zDan eventually manages to work this guy down, and there we see the connecting combo, the ultimate, the Spectral Bow. Beautiful stuff. Now, moving on to our next fight, we have got zDan on the no stealth stamina Nightblade, and right off the bat, he finds himself with a lot of yellow players on top of him, and zDan's just going to set down the shade there, just go for his heals. Now, this build has some impressive healing power and some impressive damage as well. zDan gets a huge combo off on that player there, but the enemy player responds well with the roll there, and zDan takes a lot of damage himself, and he shades out to a different spot. He's going to go for those heals, and right away his health shoots right up. So this build can definitely survive some punishment, but he doesn't want to be in the center of attention for these yellow too long. Otherwise, they're going to burst him down over those powerful heals over time that he has. And there we see those heals over time doing work. zDan staying aggressive with his heals up here, hits a huge fear into his surprise attack combo, bringing that enemy Templar down. He's just going to reset his heals again and just keep up the pressure on these guys. The enemy player that attempted the res right away going for the block, I think making the right call, seeing zDan stay aggressive. And here come more yellow players around the corner. zDan's just going to go for a little bit of a kite back behind the woodworks here. And he did set the shade down, just reset his buffs as well. The enemy warden comes charging in with the dizzy swing. zDan's got the heals up, so he's ready for that incoming combo. And he counters with the fear, goes for the surprise attacks. but he's unable to put some really huge damage into that enemy ward, and this guy's got some bulk to him, and the other players here just trolling him with that stun. Looks like a very tanky 4-star player, and zDan sees more yellow and more yellow starting to pile up around the corner, so he comes back to behind this little tent here. He's got the Merciless Resolve ready too, so he can go for a big combo here. There's the ultimate into the surprise attack. Huge damage on that guy there. Unfortunately, he responds well, and zDan again taking too much pressure to stick that combo out. He's got the shade down though, but he doesn't quite need it yet. He's doing a great job just kiting things out, and there we see he goes for the shade, just trying to lose those guys around that corner, give himself a little bit of an opportunity to go for some damage on these guys here. There we see a huge combo with his ultimate into the surprise attack cancel. Really clean, and zDan brings that guy down, resets his heals again, and he's looking for his next opportunity to take a target. This guy going for the res. zDan's going to hit him with the bash and just go right back to doing work on these guys. The enemy players trying to put the damage in here, but zDan's movement is really good. They're just having a tough time targeting him as he keeps moving behind them and preventing them from being able to hit him with all those AoE attacks. And zDan just doing a good job continuing to keep these guys turning around. There we see again, he goes for that shade just to reset it. I think not really because he needed it, and he's just keeping it down as kind of a safety shade. I really like that. And zDan goes for a big fear, tries to get that ultimate down, but again, these three players that are right on top of him here are fairly tanky. And there we see a lot of damage coming in from more yellow players. I think it was that Templar that came in around the corner there. And zDan's just doing a great job kiting them out, just using his movement, using his healing power, and waiting for his opportunity to get a good combo off on these guys. And there we see he tries to go for his ultimate, but this guy's ready for it. He hits him with the fear, but the enemy player again responds really well. These guys are not chumps. They're not going to give zDan an easy fight here. And there we see zDan is also being pressured a lot with the incoming stuns too, and he's just got that shade down so he can go for the kite if he needs it. But I think zDan feels fairly comfortable seeing that at least two of the players here are on bulkier specs. He knows that he can definitely have some face tank value here, and there we see he manages to bring that player down, just risking it himself. But he manages to take it home, and I think that's going to be the deciding kill for this fight, because if he had not been able to take that player down, that would have been a very, very difficult situation to come back from. And zDan here just trying to get a little bit of stamina back. A big combo opportunity there. He hits him with the ultimate, goes for the surprise attacks. The enemy Templar responds with some good healing power, and the counter stun as well. And zDan's just going to refresh his heals here too. The enemy Warden actually putting some big damage into zDan there, but a great fear to get good coverage on the players and then finish that enemy Templar off. And zDan takes a moment here, not really sure, maybe he had to scratch an itch or something, but he just resets his buffs as well. And now he's going to open up and fight with the last player here. This guy is the enemy Warden that has been giving him some trouble this whole fight. And zDan is not going to let him just escape like that. It looks like the other yellow player just pieced out as quick as he could. The enemy Warden unable to deal with the pressure. And a great fight. Now for our next fight, we've got zDan coming back with some more no stealth stamina Nightblade, showing us that huge combo right off the bat on the first yellow player. And he moves on to his next target here, just putting big damage with the surprise attacks and the Executioner to finish him off. 11k no crit on that bad boy. And zDan's just going to keep marking and poison injectioning targets here, looking for someone that he can hit with a good combo. And there we see he's got a little bit of attention on him. He makes sure to go for his heals and just rotate back through the group, back kind of behind the guards here. But most of these yellow are attacking zDan. I think there's one that's going to be trying to kill off the NPCs. And zDan is just doing his best to kite around again and look for those targets. He marks up the next guy here. There we see those big surprise attacks. The Executioner, a next player goes down. zDan's going to reset his heals again, just kite around the guards again. Get behind this guy here. He responds well. It looked like he was going to go for that res, but he stops preemptively, gets hit by a nasty stun there, and zDan hits him with a huge combo and a beautiful cancel. The next target, this Nightblade, zDan quickly marks him up. Poison injection as well. Stops this guy from getting the res. He actually hits him with a little bit of a combo first and then hits him with the bash into the rest of the combo just to time that stun at the end of the combo, making it harder for the player to come back. And after cleaning up all those players, the last Nightblade finally comes out of stealth here. zDan's going to hit him with the mark, the poison injection, and finish him off with that executioner. One last player in the distance here. This guy goes for this streak here. zDan hits him with that partial charged heavy. And zDan heads back to the resource here, waits a little bit, and more yellow come back to try to take it. zDan's going to put the business into the first guy. Again, just a huge combo coming out of the gate, and then he sets down his shade here. And these yellow players being very aggressive, and zDan putting some huge counter damage into them. He sets with the mark, the poison injection. There's a big off-balance stun there, and that guy just gets nuked. And zDan right away moving on to the next target here. And just the damage on this build brings him down as well. A beautiful fight.